Hi, third graders. It's Miss Jaramillo, and it's time to take a look at our DMA solutions for week 9, day 4. So we are in week 9, and we are in day 4 of our DMA. So let's quickly take a look at our problems. Our first problem has to do with being able to draw the hands on the clock to show the time that Mia went to meet Laura at the pool. So it says Mia has to meet Laura at the pool at 10:45. Draw the hands on the clock to show that time. So if we remember, we have the hour hand is the shorthand, and we can see that it's 10. But remember, we're not going to point the hour hand directly at the 10 because if you remember, as the minute hand goes around the clock, the closer it gets to the next hour, the closer it's going to be to the next hour, which would be 11 o'clock. So we are going to take and draw the shorthand between 10 and 11 because it's not 11 o'clock, it's still 10 o'clock. And remember, we're going to draw a shorthand as the hour hand. So this is my hour hand. My minute hand is going to be pointing where we would see 45 minutes. So if you remember, when we're looking at our clock, we don't see the minutes because in between each group of numbers on our clock is a 5-minute increment or 5-minute group. So from the 12 to the 1 is 5. Then we have another group of 5, which is 10. And then we go to 15 when the minute hand points to the 3, 20, 25, 30. Now, to skip that part, we could automatically say, oh, well, let's just start at the 30 because we know that if the minute hand's pointing at the 6, that would be 10:30. So we could skip the counting by 5s up to the 30 if we knew that when we point the hour hand at the 6, it's 30. We have 35, 40, and 45. Now, this is to the nearest 5 minutes. So this is actually a second grade standard that we're kind of reviewing from our previous year or last year. So now it says 10:45 on the clock. Our next set of problems are some basic adding and subtracting. So we have a total of 12. We are going to subtract 4. So if I wanted to, I could break this up as 2 and 2 to subtract from the 12. Subtract 2 from 12 would make 10, and then subtract 2 more from 10, that would make 8. Remember, you can always check your subtraction by using addition. So if I know that I'm having to find my missing part, when I add it back to this part that I subtracted, I should get my total of 12. So 8, 9, 10 for 2 more, and then 2 more after that would be 11, 12. So 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 11 minus 9. Now we could think of this one of two ways. We could think of, okay, well, if I know what 10 is, I can take this 10 and we know 10 minus 9 is 1. Or we count back 11 to 9. We could say 11 minus 9 is 2. And we double check using addition. So if I take my part and add it to the other part that we subtracted, 9 plus 2 is 11. 9, 10, 11. 7 plus 3 is an automatic 10, just like 8 plus 2 or 6 plus 4 or 5 plus 5. We want to remember those easy, quick 10s. Our next problem has to do with looking at patterns, which we've been working on. So it says count by hundreds. And really, to me, it's not counting by hundreds, but it's adding 100 each time. Because when you count by hundreds, you're actually counting 100, 200, 300. But here we're adding 100 each time. So if we add 100 here to here, we add one more 100, makes 600. If I look at my 600 and I add one more 100 to the 600, that would make 778. If I add another 100 to 700, that would be 878. If I add another 100 to the 800, that would be 978. And just for kicks, if we were to add another 100 to the 900, that would take us to 1078. Why does it end up being 1000? Because when you're counting by hundreds, the next 100 after 900 is 1000. And sometimes they call that 1000 because it has a 10 and then the 2 zeros after it. So, and then if we added another 100 to this hundreds place, we would have 1178. And we could continue adding on 100 each time. Our next problem has to do with looking at a bar graph. So you will notice that it's asking people what is their favorite juice. So it's taking a poll or taking a survey on who likes or what is the most popular juice. So we have 3 different types of juice here. We have apple juice, we have orange juice, and we have grape juice. And this scale right here, if you notice, is going by 75. So we're actually 25, because to get from 75 to 100, that's 25. To get from 100 to 125, that's another 25, and so on. So it's going by groups of 25 here. Okay, so this is the number of people that like that kind of juice. So apple juice, there are 125 people that like apple juice. There are 125 people that like orange juice. And there are 75 people that like grape juice. So now we can look at our question. It says, how many more people picked apple juice than grape juice? So apple juice had more people that liked it, but we want to know the difference between how many more people liked apple juice compared to the grape juice. So when you hear the words how many more and you see the word than being used to compare, we know that we are subtracting the larger amount and the smaller amount. In this case, we are going to take 125 and subtract 175. So we could take 120 and subtract 70. Since we don't have any hundreds here, we could just subtract the hundreds and the tens, or we could subtract our tens here from this 100 and the tens there. So 70, we could count up from 70 up to 120 to find our difference. What comes after 70? 80. After that would be 2 tens, which would be 90. 3 tens would make 100. 4 tens would make 110. And 5 tens, which is 50, would make 120. So there's a difference of 50 here, and of course 5 here, and we're subtracting 5 from there would give us a difference of 0. So there is a difference of 50 more people liking apple juice than the grape juice. And here's my work to show that. So I take my equation, write it out, and show my solution. I've already got my work down here to show that out. I could also use my algorithm. So if I wanted to do that, it still should be the same. I still should be able to subtract 5 minus 5, and that will give me 0, which is what I did here. My 12 is my 12 tens, because I can say that I know that 10 tens is 100. And so if I take 12 tens and subtract 7 tens, I will get 5 or 50 in this case. So we don't have to regroup here because that would be inefficient. That means we don't need to do that if we already see that there's 12 tens there, which is 120. So those are our solutions for this week, week 9. And so we will be having a quiz, our DMA quiz tomorrow. So make sure you look in Schoology and look for your quiz on Friday. Have a great day and a great weekend.